I have a client in Montana. He's going to do some grafting. This year we're going to go over there and do, I don't know, 1,100 trees or so. It's a long ways from home. I don't travel and do grafting on the road anymore. I used to travel and graft in California, Arizona, Texas, Canada, but I don't do that anymore. Anyway, he needs it done, so we're going to go do it. Going to make an exception, but he's never grafted before, doesn't know what sign wood to collect, and I'm going to send him a sample. So here's 2 pieces that are perfect for cherry grafting, for a side graft technique at least. Rule of thumb is probably your ring finger, because you want it, you want good brown hardened off wood. This one's a little small, but it'll make 2 grafts. We'll get 2 signs out of each one of these. Once the wood starts to get a little bit green color, we don't use that. Where it bends, if you take a piece and bend it like that, where it gets rubbery, that's where we stop. We don't use anything past that point. So this is what you want. You can cut these small ends off to make it more compact to store it if you need to. Generally, we'll just have guys bundle these in bundles of 50 or 100, tie them up nice and tight, lay them in a apple bin or cherry bin, and throw some damp sawdust on them. Put them in cold storage. They need to be stored as near to 34 as you can get. 34 to 38. I like it, the colder the better, as long as it's not freezing. Do not freeze the wood. But yeah, throw some damp sawdust in with it. Don't soak the wood. Just throw some sawdust in with it, and that'll hold the moisture in the wood. And we're not going to have to store it very long. You have to be a little more particular if you're going to store the wood for 6 months, but it's only going to be in cold storage for maybe 4 to 6 weeks, so it'll be fine. Well, you want to collect your wood now. It's February 3rd today. You want to collect your wood while it's still nice and dormant, while these buds are really tight. You don't want to show any green tip, because once that bud's triggered and starts moving, then if you do the graft after that, that bud's already activated, and it just continues to grow instead of healing in on the bottom end on the graft. It uses all of its stored carbohydrates to force that bud. There's nothing left to heal in the graft. Once that bud shoots, it grows, then the sign is spent, and it's like a flower in a vase. It'll live for a while, and that shoot will come out, you know, an inch or so, and then it just dies because there's no connection on the bottom end to build a vascular system to feed the nutrients to the bud. So ideally, you want to put this in when it's fully dormant, and that way it'll heal in on the bottom end. What happens is, when you expose the cambium, make those cuts and expose the cambium, and then match it with the cambium on the tree, it starts to build up what's called callousing tissue. And then in that tissue, it begins, those callousing cells begin to differentiate into vascular cells, so it can feed the graft. And that's cherry grafting sign wood, and that's all I have to say about that.